Hey, Billy. Dear Dr. Billy and Nick, I only found your podcast a few months ago, and despite being married to my beautiful red-headed husband, I seem to be spending more time listening to the two of you lately as I catch up on previous episodes. I have been a primary teacher for 10 years, and I'm a mum of a beautiful 2-year-old boy. Since returning to teaching part-time, I feel privileged to be in the position to guide and support both my own son and the students that I teach. Your episode on nurturing neurodiversity really struck a chord with me. I've been in the position as a teacher several times where I have evacuated a classroom because a student is having a meltdown, throwing chairs, desks, swearing, hurting other children. I feel emotional to think about the fact that this is the most unsafe child in these situations was the child melting down and that they were left alone in the classroom. I also felt unprepared and unsupported in these scenarios and was just doing what I thought was best. Because of what I have now learned through your podcast and book, I know I would handle these situations differently. The part I struggle with is how to nurture all students in the classroom or a whole school level. Our typical class size is 32. 1 year, 13 students in my class had individual support plans. I was overwhelmed keeping up with the paperwork, meeting for these plans, let alone the practical component of actually implementing strategies and meeting the needs of these 13 students. Not to mention the other 19 students who, of course, also need guidance and support academically and emotionally each and every day. I often drive home feeling low about this, and the never doing enough feeling is overwhelming. Despite my efforts, I feel the workload of teachers is growing more, and this pulls us away from the really important work with students. I'm refreshed now being in a part-time position as I feel I have more capacity in my workday to support students with their emotional regulation, relationships and connection. This has become my top priority since becoming a mother and finding pop culture parenting, and a big reframe as I previously prioritised academic results. Do you have any advice for schools that are completely stretched with high student numbers, high levels of student needs, and the demands of curriculum, paperwork, meetings, events? Where do we even start? Can I make a difference in my class of 32, or is this bigger than me and my school and needs massive systemic change? Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do. I'm a better mum and teacher because of you both.
Right. I've got
Which
an
part are you
answer.
going to tackle? Oh, go. Right.
I've got an answer,
Get it.
but it's actually not from me. It's from the amazing Rebecca Harris.
Oh,
so
did you reach out to Beck?
Yes, so Beck, who is doing a lot with GGM now, and reach out if you would like her to come and do stuff with you.
Now only ever guest on the podcast.
Yes, the only ever guest, but she obviously has 2 decades of experience in schools, being like wellbeing lead and doing amazing stuff. Which is when I met her a long time ago. She's also a trained counsellor, so she does work with kids and adults. But this is her answer to that question, which I just think is beautiful. Oh, wow. I really feel this. You know, what comes to mind for me first off is that you can't meet the needs of every student all the time. I've been doing some group and individual work with a wellbeing team in a secondary school recently, and I talk to teachers all the time in a range of different schools, and the reality is that teachers and school staff are working in a system that is not fit for purpose. The tools offered to teachers are not good enough to meet the needs of students they teach. And yet, what power educators have to positively impact the lives of students. I've been the person in the room with the chair thrower, and I do think it's important that someone is in that room with the student where possible. In these situations, my approach is a minimal and gentle presence. My message is, I'm here, I want to keep you safe, I see how upset you are, I understand. In my experience, what helps children more than anything else is to feel felt, a Dan Siegel phrase. To know you get them, what a gift this is. It's not always possible to do this in the moment, but there will be a moment to show a student in a situation like this that you see them beyond their behaviour. The evidence around supporting student behaviour centres a lot around co-regulation. This means that any adult supporting a child in a situation like you described needs to be coming from the most regulated place they can. And this means educators need to be aware of their own state. In maintaining our own self-awareness, we can tap into one of the most powerful tools any educator has, modelling. The challenges our students have are the same challenges we have, and when it comes to emotional regulation. So many of the kids I see in my clinic think they're the only one who feel the way they do. Educators can let their students know what is happening internally for them. They can share when they feel frustrated and what it looks like on the outside and feels like on the inside, and what they do when they experience this. And this can be done for all emotions. This helps every student understand that all feelings are acceptable and normal and expected. If you bring the focus you mentioned of emotional regulation, connection and relationship to school, you're doing the most important work of all. This work builds a sense of self, capacity to trust self and others, and self-belief. And as a big bonus, the evidence tells us this builds skills relating to social and emotional learning, increases academic achievement too. The resilience, rights and respectful relationship resources are such an asset to any educator when it comes to social and emotional learning. They're from Victoria, but freely available online. They're evidence-based, accessible and filled with lesson plans. My message for all educators is that on your trip home, and I've driven home in tears many, many times, yes, let the tears out for the challenges our students and we live with, but ask yourself, what was I able to do today that aligns with my values and my sense of purpose? Make this your focus. Perhaps you remembered a student was doing something fun on the weekend and you checked in with them about it. Perhaps you noticed a student looking out of sorts and you asked or gave them a smile. Perhaps you told a parent that their child did a great job with something. There are so many things in a school day that mean educators are doing what they do, that they're there to do, and these things deserve more of your reflection time than those things you wish you could, but can't. And in the background, we can all keep pushing for the system to be better. Beautiful.
Well done, Beck.
That'll get me. Yeah, what a champion. So yeah, reach out because she's doing heaps of stuff for Guiding Growing Minds. So reach out.
Amazing answer.
This podcast is brought to you by Guiding Growing Minds, a social enterprise that aims to give all children the best opportunity to reach their potential and succeed in living rich and meaningful lives.